Hello and welcome. Welcome. We are beginning day 2 of the Manifestation Mindset Challenge. And if you are here for the first time, do you know that we began yesterday? And you can actually access that video. You can still get into the group, which is Manifestation Mindset Magic. This is a really cool 5-day intro to this group existing, and a lot of the fundamentals that I believe are so useful, so that way no matter what time you find this, you can still apply it to your life. And even if you have brought a micro goal into this, luckily you can apply it to new micro goals as you move forward. You get to do this again and again and again. And so today we are going in for identity, design, and align. Now, yesterday we were able to focus on desire declaration. We dreamed to a very big extent. We got a little extra with it. And then we asked how we could turn that into a micro goal. And so with that micro goal that you chose this week, if you remember, mine was to be able to pursue, writing a song, playing a song that I didn't write on my keyboard, because it's out of my comfort zone, something I've never done before. And at the same time, it is building towards my goal of being able to actually play a lot of music and music well. And it was a fun micro goal. And I wanted something that I'm not always putting this process towards, because I'm always trying to put it towards everything that you see that has been built up until this point when it comes to the gallery and being able to do art and being able to share manifestation like I'm doing right now. But what I'm really excited about with today is that we get to go into the actual process now that a goal has been selected. So identity, design, and align is a big deal. This is one of those shifts that will make a huge difference if you can start from this place. Because what I want you to consider real quick is the hierarchy of change. What is the hierarchy of change? Have you heard of it before? And if you haven't, I'm really excited to open the door on it with you. And if you have, freaking heck yes. Going back through the fundamentals again always helps me. So we're going to share this a little bit. I want you to imagine whenever you start a goal, like if we have the new year, right? And a lot of people, what is a common intention everyone sets whenever the new year begins? It's a lot of times somewhere around, the health. We all kind of get into this moment of like, man, I'm going to take care of myself with this new year. I'm going to go to the gym maybe. I'm going to change my diet maybe. A lot of people you'll see at the beginning of every year filling up these subscriptions to get into gyms. And it's suddenly busy. People will make little comments on social media sometimes, even like, man, I'm ready for February and all the way into April, whenever people start to just kind of leave the gym again, because we're going to have just the people that always do it as opposed to the New Year people. Why do we see this trend where it's really easy at the beginning of the new year to start, and then we see this trend at the same time where a lot of people start to trail off come February until April, everything in between. But by April, it's when everyone notices it kind of goes back to whoever has established it as part of their identity. And the people that often are trailing out, if it hasn't become part of their identity, if it's just on the environment level, which is actually at the bottom of the hierarchy of change when it comes to things that make a real difference. If we only change our environment, we oftentimes don't actually stick with it the same way as if it's been part of our identity, because life happens. It is inevitable. Schedules change, and suddenly, like, we have, events that come up that are out of our control. Sometimes we have sickness that happens. Sometimes we lose the subscription to the gym, whatever it may be. But when it's on an identity level, suddenly there's a difference. If I built the habit, because a habit is on this hierarchy of change, capabilities is on this hierarchy of change, but these are things that stack up coming into identity. My identity is that I'm taking care of my health every single day, no matter what, then maybe it means that I'm actually focused on balancing in more water, even on the days that I can't get to the gym. Maybe it means that I go for a walk, even on the days that I can't get to the gym. Maybe it means that if everything came up in my life and the gym is the one place that makes my life feel better, it doesn't matter how much came up in the day. Maybe it's at 1 a.m. that I finally make it to the gym when life just made it impossible. If I don't actually need the gym, maybe it was just that I was willing to do my stretches in my own living room because of how much it just became part of my identity. This is different for all of us. And so identity, a lot of times, we think that it is a declaration in response to what we have witnessed from ourselves. Why can I call myself an artist? Maybe I believe it's because I've made enough paintings. Maybe it's because I believe that someone bought my painting and then I can call myself an artist. Maybe it was once I opened a gallery. But you see there how it's asking for qualifications that I then allow myself to give myself permission to claim an identity. It's not actually going to add up. It doesn't. If I wait for my result to be able to claim an identity, which is actually going to become my action. And so if you're able to, I want you to start to ask, what is the identity that I need to claim this goal? How can I start to claim this on an identity level? So for me, whenever I said, hey, I really, really, really want to be playing a song that I did not write, what is the identity that I need at that point? It sure isn't going to be me saying all the time, like I have up until now, oh yeah, I can play music as long as it's something that I wrote, and anything else I can't. Because I've taken on an identity as someone that's not necessarily a musician that can read music. I'm not a musician that can play someone else's songs. And why do I decide that? Because I haven't done it yet until now. But I am actually able to choose on an identity level. I am someone that is learning. I am someone that is willing to understand finger placements on the keyboard. I am someone that is capable of playing a song. I am capable of playing a song someone else wrote. So suddenly I can start to build downwards from that now. I can, and this is where we're going to actually be building in the next few days when we get into pieces like belief and qualifications. Because now that I decided I am someone that is capable of this, I am a musician, I am a person that is very capable of being able to perform songs in front of large crowds worldwide. I can take that anywhere I want. If I decide that on an identity level, I'm now going to be trickling down the hierarchy of change. And that way tomorrow, I believe, is when we get into beliefs. I can start to even address what are the beliefs that come around this now. What is anything in between? You know, that part of me, I was like, well, I don't know where to place my fingers. So, you know, and I don't know how to read the music. So I can't, no, my beliefs are switching. And even if it's hard, even if it's confusing, it's saying, okay, with this identity, I am the one that is going to be I am going to take the time to understand where these finger locations go. I'm going to take the time to start to figure out a way to read music better. Tabs into reading notes. There's hacks that have existed forever. My mom reminded me of how when she was younger, she had to put the actual keys, the actual notes onto the keys. And so there's always been ways that people have learned, and I am just now allowing myself to follow in those footsteps and ask how I can best learn. But I've had some really cool examples that you guys have came in here with for your identity that we can leverage. So your micro goals, I know that we had an intention set yesterday for, you know, being able to help 22 people and being able to really expand on that, allowing the coaching, allowing the life impact, the change to create that impact. And so we get to ask on an identity level. You've already started to accomplish things by beginning the coaching business in the first place. That is a decision, that is an identity, follow through to say, I am this person. So what is a piece of this? Starting the business in the first place, to be able to make this change, to be able to make this impact. So on an identity level, how do we expand that? How is it, okay, so I'm someone that shows up. I'm someone that shows up and makes offerings. Maybe I show examples of how I'm able to coach. This challenge that we're in right now is an example of how I'm able to show up when I've decided that part of my life, part of my identity that I've already decided when it came to the shop and building this dream of mine and my family is to be able to share information that can change paradigms. I love the art of a good paradigm shift. Why do I love it? Because it means that you get to actually use more of your energy to build a life that is aligned with you, that aligns with your passion, that aligns with the impact that you believe you can make in this world. All of us, we're making an impact in this world, whether we are trying to or not. Every time we learn something, it has a ripple effect around us. Every time that we are willing to try, it creates a ripple effect, and we get to try and try again. And so it's really beautiful to even create something like this, where it means that I'm going to show up. Has the result came where I have had, to the level that I desire in my goals, the amount of interaction yet? I believe that's building, but I know that every time that I have shown up, it does create a ripple effect. It does make a result that shows up in a delayed form. I loved how my mom was talking this morning about delayed gratification as opposed to instant gratification. Things like this that I'm showing up for, it's a delayed gratification because we're getting instant gratifications right now with us that are in here. But this group, I'm building something that is meant to be impacting just more people than I could ever impact whenever they show up in the shop and it's one-on-one. But I'm using wisdom from those one-on-one moments to try to impact many people, and many people that we're creating this content for, that it's going to be beyond what I can do one-to-one. But I have to choose that identity, and then I have to take action. I have to build the habits. I have to learn the skills. I have to ask the questions. I then have to allow an environment to become a part of it. I have to ask, okay, so then how do I set up a camera? Luckily, my husband, Danny, has been around helping with so much of that when I have questions and being a part of that. We get to share ideas together. It's been really beautiful, but that all comes down as part of identity whenever there's a willingness in the first place. We've had moments that I get really nervous sometimes, and I say, oh, I can't do this because I don't know how to write the script whenever we try to create scripted content. And it's been really cool because then we find balances that really embraces, okay, I'm going to be showing up, but what does that look like if it's not always scripted? Sometimes it's things like this, where I just show up and I offer information, but it's an identity shift. It's an identity decision. And then from that decision, it is being able to follow through on beliefs, shifting those, qualifications with skills, shifting those, a willingness to take action, make mistakes, and try again, and then shifting from that wisdom. And so whenever you choose this identity, I want you to be able to design it based on your goal, especially your micro goal, and ask. These are the questions that we have today that I want you to ask yourself, that I want you to write down or consider out loud, like yesterday. What identity is able to accomplish the goal that I have set? And you can pull from people that you've witnessed already accomplishing this goal. What identity do they have? How does it feel as you kind of craft that to your own life, your own desires, your own values? Values is a big part of this. We'll get into that tomorrow. Values and beliefs. But what identity can accomplish my big goal? So not just your micro goal, but also your big goal. And how does it feel for me to claim that identity? Does it feel easy? Does it not feel easy? I want you to bring up why, because that's part of what we're going to expand into tomorrow. And if you can be specific about it, go ahead and throw it into the comments. Because if it feels easy, hey, that means that you can start to hack that right now. But if it doesn't feel easy, that means we have an opportunity to workshop new understanding. That is where we get a lot of gold, is whenever we say, it's not easy yet to claim this identity. Here's the things that come up that made me say, no, it's not possible, and here's why. Because that's where we really get to do the real good magic and belief work tomorrow. And we're going to get into tapping with that. I love tapping. It's just one powerful way, in addition to meditations and different tools, to just allow ourselves a paradigm shift that we can feel in our body. Similar to Reiki, the way that we use that to be able to feel things in our body, what we have decided consciously. And I want you to ask yourself, okay, within this identity, even if it doesn't feel real yet, like something you can claim, since we're workshopping that tomorrow, I want you to ask still, though, this identity that is capable of accomplishing my big dream desire, how does she show up in the world? It's okay if it's not she for you. We're all different. For me, that's how I ask. How does she show up in the world? What does she do? How does she respond to problems? How does she respond to opportunities? How does she respond to conflict? How does she respond to new desires? So we're starting to really explore not just the action, and I do want you to ask, how does she act? How does she take action? What action is she taking on a day-to-day basis? How is her self-care? How is her her daily planning? What is the actions within that? How does she build out a schedule? So everything from the emotions to the tangible, I want you to consider this identity. What does all of that look like for the identity of who is capable of accomplishing your dream desire? And so that is today's homework. That is the actual tangible step we're getting into today. That is what I want you to dive into. And so whatever feels impossible within that, we get to go into that tomorrow, but we gotta find it first. So I want you to really dive into these questions, explore them, feel them, and then go ahead and throw it in here. Go ahead and throw it in the comments if you so choose. But I'm very grateful, very, very, very grateful for what we've got to decide today. Your identity. And it's already something that you're capable of. I believe that because of the fact that once we have put a desire within us, there's a reason. And there's just opportunity in between to figure out those pieces. But if we're willing to try again, it's just a matter of time. Matter of time. And it's okay, because if we're here, we still have time right now. But that's where we got to take action with that time. So go ahead and write it down. Go ahead and say it out loud. And go ahead and let yourself feel it. Feel that identity. And if you can, a bonus one today, try to see if you can take one action from this identity decision today. Be it big or small. Outside of your homework, if you want that bonus, find one piece of action that you would not have taken otherwise that is consistent with your declared identity. Because this is how we align it. Design and align, my fam. All right, and I hope you guys have a really good day. Don't forget that you are able to share this with someone that you think might want to be in on the swirl. Make sure that you are in the group. If you haven't been joining yourself into this group already, Manifestation Mindset Magic. It is just going to keep getting better and better. We have this 5-day challenge, but this isn't done. We're continuing to grow. We're continuing to find goals, find desires, and to build the life that we want to live in, to create the reality that we desire from in our mind to our actual world that we're living. And thank you guys so much for joining today. I'll see you guys later.